Alrighty guys, hi, it's Amanda. Welcome back to my channel. I hope you're having a great day today. If you're new or returning, please subscribe to the channel. Give the video a thumbs up if you like the video. And as always, if you have any comments, questions, or concerns, leave them down in the comment section. I will try to see you there. So today's gonna be a quick run through of some things that have been going on the internet, not just so much YouTube, but on Twitter as well, and talk about it, tell you what I have seen, what my opinions are, and have you guys respond in the comment section. So the first thing I kind of wanted to talk about, which is weird to talk about and for me in a way, is the Ethan Supreme Twitter stuff that is going on. So I'm sure you know, but if you don't, Ethan Supreme was a young beauty influencer, and earlier this year he had taken his own life, and it was publicized that he did. It was confirmed by his father to some larger news outlets that this is what had happened, and it gave his followers, his fans, and his fellow creators the information of his passing to go ahead and mourn him and grieve him and work through that process. As of the last week, I'm not exactly sure what day, his Twitter account has become active again. Now, when this happened, of course, there were questions from his fans, from everybody, you know, was his account hacked? What was going on? Who was the one who was posting these things? Because some of the things that were being posted were, I don't want to say threatening, but were just kind of out there and not being friendly. Some were just downright rude and mean comments to people who were asking who was the one who was, you know, tweeting these things from his account. And as we're being told, it is his father who is the one who has taken over the account. Now, I don't know if anybody has been able to confirm this. I hope that if this is his father, that he is getting some kind of assistance with his grief and mourning. Everybody mourns in their own way. There is no quote unquote right way to mourn or to grieve somebody, especially your child who was fairly young at his passing. I can't imagine how hard that is for what his family and close friends and probably close fellow creators are probably experiencing. However, it is to note that, you know, it bridges a weird conversation to have. Like, do we think that it's appropriate for people who have passed their accounts to remain active for other people to kind of take over and work? I know things like this have happened in the past with different celebrities and things of that nature, and I don't think it's ever really fully talked about in an open manner to know, like, where as a whole people kind of fall into thinking. Like, personally, I don't know if I think it's a bad thing. Like, my opinion is, if somebody is lost too soon or, you know, unexpectedly, I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing for someone who is family to take over the account for a short period of time, but not run it as if that individual was still here, because that is just misleading. It can be harmful to their fans or their subscribers. I don't know what good really comes of continuing to make the account active other than for monetary gain. And that's not what I'm saying is happening here at all. I'm just talking about, like, in general. Those are my thoughts. I want to know what your thoughts are about this whole scenario. I could go more specific, but I'm not trying to drag the dad, if it is the dad who is posting these things. And without us knowing for sure from what I have seen, I don't feel it's appropriate. He's grieving to really feel that I'm in a place where I can judge him over that. But I do want to know what you guys think as far as, maybe not just with this scenario, but any scenario, any celebrity passing unexpectedly. Would you expect their social medias to be managed by a family member and act as though the individual was still alive? Because that's kind of the vibes that are being sent out, in addition to some of the comments that are being commented back to his fans, and people commenting are quite rude. And I was not a follower of Ethan's. I am outside of his demographic for sure, I believe. So I wasn't a huge supporter or follower of his. I knew of him and I had seen a couple of videos, and his artistry was amazing, but I fell out of his demographic. So I do not know the kind of content and the way he talked to his fans. I don't know if that's how it was or not. Let me know what you guys think about that. Another thing which has been an ongoing saga really is the Stauffer family, Micah and James Stauffer. Now, if you're new to my channel, you may not know that I have covered the Stauffer family situation since the very beginning. I have spaced out my updates because it's kind of hard for me to talk about, and I don't mean to say that as in it's not hard for other creators to talk about, but I am adopted, and I come at this story from a different perspective than other people do. Just like I know some of the people who cover this story, they have, you know, deep-rooted feelings about this scenario because of their association with it. There's been a couple of updates over the past, I want to say, month and a half or so since I did my last update, and I've been waiting to talk about it. And a lot of it is just because I don't really know where I sit. I do know that I want education to be provided. I want people, like the general public, to be educated about adoptions and things happening through adoptions and things like that. And what has been hard for me is the fact that what this family has done and what it seems that they have done, from what everyone has been able to uncover, whether that be through interviews or through past videos, and, you know, seeing their actions be contradictory to their words is really hard as somebody who has been adopted. And I have previously been very vocal about how I feel, and I don't want to lose sight of that, but I also still want to provide some form of, you know, educating the general public, whoever watches this, whether you're a subscriber or not, to kind of know some other information other than just regurgitating what everybody has found. Because I do provide a different perspective, and it's hard to talk about and get all my feelings out in one video, and I don't think that that's going to happen here. But I did want to provide, you know, I am watching it. I've watched all of the larger creators around who have continued to cover this, their videos, their interviews. I have made notes to try and do an in-depth video, and I'm kind of coming to the conclusion that I'm not going to do that. I may talk about all of my thoughts about those things in a live stream if you guys want, but the overarching theme that I want people to know is adoption is hard. It all depends on what kind of adoption is being done and how it's being done on different levels. Now, we have all kind of speculated that how the Stauffers went about it probably wasn't the best. And I feel that that is probably the case, but we won't know. And a couple of months ago, maybe a month and a half, I will link the video down below, Sloan did a video where he was able to either contact the foster mother or whoever has the child currently and or someone close to them, and confirm that he is there and he is safe and he is doing well, and that the family who has him now is tending all of his needs. Personally, I understand some people needed that validation, to hear that, to have an influencer get to the bottom of that part. For me, I've worked on the professional side of this kind of stuff, and when it was said in the police report that 2 home studies had been done and had been passed, I did not so much have concerns for the child and his physical safety. My concerns are his mental health, and the effects that everything he has experienced is going to affect him. We already know, because the Stauffers chose to put all of his business out on the internet at some point in time, that he was suffering from some form of autism or something to that nature. So with that diagnosis, I know for me, I wasn't given up as an adopted child, but while I was in foster care for 10 years and moving from foster home to foster home to foster home, from infancy to 10, I know the effect it took on me, and that I still struggle with to this day. And I could not imagine, if I had any developmental delay or any kind of cognitive issue, being able to try and comprehend and move past that and be able to work through that. It has got to be so confusing for him. And I just really, for that sole reason, is why I think it's important to continue to talk about this family and their scenario, not to just deplatform Micah and James. Micah has practically been deplatformed at this point. James has not. And the reason James has not, I have continued to say, as well as other YouTubers who have covered this story, he's not going to be deplatformed unless we can reach his audience, because his audience is not an audience that's going to watch T channels, drama channels, commentary channels, whatever you want to label my channel or the other channels who are, keeping up to date with them. They're not watching that kind of content 9 times out of 10. So they're not fully aware of the gravity of the situation. And, there is questions with James' ethics on his YouTube channel. And I mean, can we say that we're surprised? I mean, if you have an individual who is willing to rehome their adopted child, why would we think that his channel would be based in ethics and he would be creating his own content and thinking of his own content? I mean, it does not surprise me one bit, and it's sad. It's really sad. However, I don't find for myself it will be important for me to sit here and, pick apart all of the things that are coming out about the family. Instead, the route that I want to take is trying to utilize this scenario and provide education about adoption moving forward, and maybe even relate it to myself when is deemed appropriate, because my situation is not like their adopted son's situation or any other adoptee situation. They are all individual, they are all unique, they are all their own stories. But I did want to provide an update briefly, because I keep saying I'm going to talk about it, and I wanted to, but I have been struggling with how I want to move forward in discussing their scenario. Am I still going to talk about how I disapprove of what they did and why I disapprove of what they did? Yes, but I'm going to leave that more for my live streams and things of that nature, where we can interact, myself and my audience can interact with you guys in real time, rather than me maybe saying something and it be misconstrued, or I'm not getting my point across, because to some degree, like in this little bit, I want to provide some kind of substance about it. And I'm not saying by that other creators are not. They are in their own ways. And all of our opinions and discussions about this are valid. Just like anybody who says they're sick of hearing it, that's a valid point. That's a valid criticism from that person. Does that mean that we have to, as creators, not create content about whatever topic it is they're sick of hearing? No, but it still doesn't make it an invalid point. It's still valid. I hope that made sense. So, as always, you know, there is other ongoing dramas. There's been some stuff going on in the beauty community, which is, I don't think, super surprising. Nikita Dragun found herself in some drama where there was a clip circulating where it looked like she had shooed a bodyguard out of a photo, and there's been some back and forth about that. Let me know how you guys feel about the Nikita Dragun stuff. I know this all kind of broke out like a week ago, but I kind of teeter the line with that one. I mean, I'm not a fan of Nikita Dragun. She has been pretty problematic and unapologetic about it, which I guess she's holding true to her character, which, I mean, should stand for something at the end of the day, to be honest, that she's willing to be true to herself and to her audience, and what you see is what you get. I can respect that. But I don't know, does it hold a level of entitlement? Absolutely. But she was also providing a picture, and I don't know how appropriate it would be to have a security guard in the background of the picture if that was the concern. So I'm not really sure the full context of that. I know Nikita went on, I think it was Instagram, and talked about how it wasn't what it appeared to be, which is just funny because all of the videos and all of the angles show that it seems she said shoe, and logistically how she was trying to say the bodyguard wasn't where it looks like he is. It made no sense at the end of the day. I just don't know. Does it hold a level of entitlement? Yes, absolutely. I don't know if it's as serious as some people made it. That's just my personal opinion. There's been a couple of other little, well, I don't want to say little, but there's been other dramas going on throughout all kinds of different areas of YouTube, and I want to discuss more of those. I don't want to limit myself to just the topics I have been covering, so I'm probably going to try to reach out a little bit in those areas. Other content will continue. I'm not sure when this video will be up, but I hope to see you guys soon nonetheless. And I hope you all have a good day, evening, or night, wherever you are. I will see you next time. Bye, guys.